In my matric year, I got distinctions in my prelims and finals, and you are about to find out how you can also do that. Before we get into the video, let's talk about what are prelims and finals. So prelims are the exams that you write before your finals.
Well, duh.
In a way, prelims are used to gauge your understanding of what you have done throughout the entire year. And then your finals are the exams you're going to write, your final high school exam, and you'll become unemployed. And there's one thing I want you to know, is that your prelims are harder than your final exams. If you get good marks in your prelims, you'll be sliding in the finals. And in your prelims, you'll be writing your last and final LO paper, and you'll be getting your last report. After writing your prelims, you'll be given your results back, so you can assess where you went wrong and try to fix your mistakes for your finals. And in your prelims, they test everything, everything for the year, and all the things that will appear in your final exam. I believe also that you'll be introduced to the procedure that will take place during your final exams, like where you'll be taking your exams, what you need to do, what you need to bring, how to conduct yourself, the exam rules, and all of that. And I also believe you'll be given your examination numbers. And before we get into the video, I'll tell you again, I'm not scaring you, but I just want you to know the matriculants before us told us, but we took it lightly. But your prelims are harder than your final exams. I'm telling you this so that you can study, really study. If you've been playing throughout the year, now it's the time to really pull up your socks. Before we get into the video, I want to share something with you. The best way to prepare for your finals is, of course, studying. You must study, of course. But the best way to prepare for your finals and your prelims is to simulate the exam. Like when you're doing past papers, time yourselves. Put a timer there. If you're writing a 2-hour paper, do your past paper within 2 hours when you're practicing, so that when you get there, some people forget, not because they did not study or whatnot, but they forget because they panic. When they see the invigilator, they're busy doing question 1. Then when they look up, they see the invigilator scratching, saying 30 minutes left. And then they start to panic and they forget. So please do some simulations. Please do some do simulations of the prelims and the finals, of the exam, basically. Do as much as you can until the nerves of writing under time pressure, until you don't feel them. So I have collected some tips from students that I know did very well for their prelims and their finals. These are people who got 90, upper 80s and 100s for their prelims and finals. So I'll put timestamps. Yeah, I have maths, physics, maths lit, history, geography, accounting, business studies, most subjects. But I'll put timestamps. You can look at the timestamps and go to the specific part you want. So we'll start off with maths. For maths, this person said, start early. Try to be 1 or 2 topics ahead of the teacher or your syllabus. Capitalize on the topics you know and pass the most. Basically, try to identify your strengths and weaknesses. Like for example, in maths, there's maybe trigonometry and Euclidean. If you're good in trigonometry and find Euclidean a bit hard, capitalize on trigonometry to get the most marks. They're not saying do not study Euclidean or look down on it, but you'll be able to answer some of the questions, just not the higher order ones. Love and understand what you're doing. Don't do it for the sake of passing. Fall in love with the topics and even dream of them. Practice, practice, practice. Don't go to sleep without solving a maths problem. Don't use textbooks. You can use them, but don't rely on them. Oh, and this person also included physics, yeah. And they also said for physics, don't go to sleep without solving a problem. Don't use textbooks. In physics, you have guidelines. Those are your notes. Past papers are your best bet. Don't cram them. And they also said for physics, teach the concepts to your friends, family, or classmate. You'll get much more rich understanding then. And for physics, when you use past papers, make sure you have the right memo so that you know where they are giving you marks. And they also said consult your teachers, YouTube, Kevin Maths and Science, Mlungisi Ngosi, and the organic chemistry tutor. Those people are your best friends. And for Mathlet, master measurements and finance, since they weigh more than other topics. Practice a lot of questions to get used to the questioning style. Learn how to manipulate formulas, because sometimes they give you wrong formulas, or just memorize the formulas. Read your questions really carefully. At times the questions are really specific, so your answers must be really specific. You see in Mathlet, those 8-mark questions, that's where they like catching you. Like for example, they'll say calculate the area of a park. Then in the park, you'll find that there's a pond inside the park. Then they'll give you the formula. They'll give you 2 formulas, one for the park, and they'll give you a formula to calculate an area of a circle. And then you'll say, it's easy. You calculate the area of the park only. But what you were supposed to do is calculate the area of the park and calculate the area of the pond. Then subtract the area of the pond from the area of the park. They catch you. They're really, really specific. I remember there's this question about bricks. So the question was asking how many bricks so-and-so will have to use to build bricks that will fill this area. Then they give you the area that the wall must be, how big the owner wants the wall, and then they give you the size of the bricks, and they give you the thickness of the mortar. So mortar, like cement, what you use when you're building, to stick, mortar. They give you the thickness of the mortar. Then they say calculate. Then they tell you this is the owner was thinking of this many rows, and you not being have to you'll understand this when you do past papers. They are very specific. They don't give you things nje, but you have to also consider the mortar when you're calculating. So it's your brick, your mortar, brick, mortar, rows of bricks and mortar. And you have to also consider the area that they gave you. So you'll only get used to this. You'll only understand this when you do a lot of past papers, especially those 8-mark questions. Do a lot of them. You will see they are very specific. Read your questions very, very carefully. And also check out Kevin Maths and Science for Mathlet. Now we'll move on to business studies and economics. Try to make studying fun for yourself. Like for example, in business studies, where you have to cram a maximum of 6 sentences in a subtopic. Try using fun acronyms. Like, for example, the role of an interviewee during an interview. They use the acronym GLAM to cram that. GLAM says greet the interviewer by name and so on. Listen attentively. Ask questions. Maintain a good posture. So in their mind, they would say, I'll put my best outfit and I'm going to the interview and be full of glam. So that's almost impossible to forget. You can also do that strategy for economics. And also for economics and business studies, it is very important to choose your topics. It's very, very important. Have topics that you master for each paper. Have topics that you will get down to the T. In accounting, try to understand your work in class. Do your homework, classworks. After you show you understand the theory, do question papers. Question papers should be your best friend. Try to do past papers from every province, at least 10 per day. This person got 99% for accounting in their finals, and I think they got 100% for accounting during their prelims. They're saying they did 10 past papers per day. If that's too much, choose one question in every question paper for the day, especially income statements, and make sure you understand transaction, because often it's the same, they ask the same thing but in different ways. When doing transactions, for example, salary for the factory foreman, try to at least have 3 different methods that you are able to calculate it, because sometimes one just doesn't do the trick. What's more important is that you must study almost every day, if not every day, of course, and consult with your teachers. For history, this person said, organized work is everything. That's the first step. Organize your work. Flashcards are very helpful. At the top of each flashcard, you should have a timeline of what happened during those years that you're trying to cram. After studying everything, try to recite it as though you are teaching it to another person. And also, mind maps are very, very useful. So by the flashcards, I think they mean that when you're trying to cram, you're gonna have your date there during 1990, between 1990 and 1993. Then in your flashcard, you'll have everything that happened during those years. Oh, and also I did not include LO in this video, but if you want strategies and tips on how to get a distinction in LO, check out my video. The link is in the description. And for Afrikaans, this person said, we cruise through cramming and recognizing patterns. In Afrikaans is quite repetitive. Consult on YouTube The Bad Teacher for basics. The name of the channel is The Bad Teacher. She's really helpful with basics. Once you have your basics down, it's very easy. And you see, Afrikaans is very repetitive, especially in your essays. You see, for your essays, for essay topics, I think you'll always find these four topics, something along the lines of these 4 topics. There'll always be a topic about nature in Afrikaans. You can look at all of the past papers. There's always a topic about the day that. There's always What are the other two? The happiest day of my life. Something along those lines. You'll always find it in Afrikaans. I remember even for my finals, I remember there's an essay I wrote in term 1. I wrote it throughout the year, but changing it here and there for the topic, but it's always within these themes, but they ask it in different ways for each year on each paper. And for geography and life sciences, this person said, try to be always ahead. Before your teacher starts a new topic, try and go through it by yourself. And once your teacher has gone through it and you still don't understand, try and consult YouTube. There are always videos of people who are explaining these concepts or doing examples. And if you are a person who loves theory, try and study every day. And also do a lot of past papers. See guys, past papers are really, really important. And that's about it. So guys, study, you're almost there. If you are doing grade 12, you're almost there. And yeah, that's about it guys. So we have come to the end of the video. From my side, don't forget to be well rested. In fact, you only need 6 hours. You can do your research. Sleep for 6 hours, exercise, eat right. When I say exercise, doesn't mean you have to go to the gym. Few push-ups, jog, walk, anything that does it for you. And stay hydrated. Oh, one last thing. The rest of you can go off now. This is for the people who are doing commerce. If you're doing commerce subjects, which is business studies, economics and accounting, or physics, business studies and accounting, I have a challenge for you. If you get, for these 3 subjects, if you get an average of 80% for these 3 subjects, meaning that all these 3 subjects, their percentages combined divided by 300 times by 100. If your average for these 3 subjects is 80% and higher, send me a DM. After writing your prelims, I want to see something. If you do well in your prelims, you'll slide in your finals. So I want to see something. If you do well in these 3 and get an average of 80% and higher, DM me. But I'll not be doing this for everyone. I'll give you a little bit of something. If you get 80% and higher, I'll be giving it to the top 3. Not everyone who got 80%, because there's a possibility that a lot of you can get 80% for these subjects. DM me after you are done writing your prelims. DM me your report and we'll work out something. I'll be announcing the winners on Instagram, so make sure you follow me on Instagram. Yeah.